let's get this all sorted out, Luce. Let's get this sorted. G'day guys, how we doing? Welcome to Lucy's channel, Lucy Lane, the Queen of Domain. Today, we're going to talk about pet insurance. Okay, our experience with pet insurance. So we've had pet insurance with Lucy for the last 2 years. So since we got her from about 10 weeks old, we have had pet insurance. And just straight away, I can tell you right now, we have come out better off with having a good pet insurance. And here's why. So we've had a string of little incidences since Lucy was a pup up until like quite recently. The first lot of incidences were when Lucy was a pup and some digestive problems and some diarrhea where she got super high dehydrated, and just those little, and being first time dog owners where, your dog so much as sneezes and you rush them off to the vet straight away. So these little trips do add up, and we were able to claim X amount for these small trips. But where the pet insurance really started to provide value for us was when Lucy got to around the 18-month stage, and she's a German Shepherd if you couldn't notice. She has a decent drive about her, so with these dogs, sometimes a few small things can happen. And so for one incident on a Sunday afternoon, Lucy ended up running full speed into a concrete step and splitting all the way down under her chin. Eventually she needed about 10 or 12 stitches from memory, but at the time it didn't look like it even hurt her. She just smacked into it and kept running. And then it wasn't until that evening she's on the bed and there was just blood everywhere. And I was like, holy crap. Rushed her off to the vet, and that was a very expensive experience. So obviously going to the vet Sunday at 11 o'clock at night definitely wasn't the cheapest time to do that. But nevertheless, I took her in there and she got patched up and was all good to go home the next day. The following week, she had an infection under her chin, took her back to the vet, and again, more money, more expenses. She had to get stitches back in there and all taken out and cleaned out, and then everything sewn back up, and then the medication on top of that. So that whole entire procedure ended up costing about $2,000, and we got about 80% of that back. So just in itself, with that one instance, pet insurance has already paid for itself with our circumstances. How much does the insurance cost, vet bills, and the refunds? Alrighty, so for starters, we are with RSPCA Insurance. This is an Australian pet insurance. They're probably like the leading premium insurance company in Australia. To be honest, the experience with these guys, this is not a plug either. I don't get any compensation for letting you know who we're with. Lucy's insurance costs $733 per year. That's in Australian dollars, so you can convert that to your own currency wherever you are. Look, that is probably not the cheapest in the world, but also it's not exuberantly expensive. Now what this does cover, so this covers up to $11,000 in damages for Lucy. Another good thing here it covers is up to $1,200 for paralysis tick treatment. That is massive in Australia. I highly recommend it. So many dogs do die every year from paralysis ticks. Glad it covers that. A few things I didn't even realize it covered up until starting to do this video was emergency boarding fees. That's pretty awesome. That's up to $1,000. And crucial ligament conditions up to $2,600, and annual consultations up to $300. So it does provide quite a bit of value for what it is. What for us is, since having Lucy, we've had around $3,200 in the last 2 years of unexpected trips to the vet. And we have received 80% of that back through the insurance. And so that's around about $2,500 we've received back cash in hand, which is fantastic. And since we've had Lucy, we've paid around about $1,466 in insurance. So I minus that off there. We're better off with around about $1,000 in our pockets. So there's one thing about pet insurance that I need to make clear, and this is with ours, and I'm sure it's probably with most pet insurances. If something happens, you have to pay out of your own pocket first. Then you take your documentation and your receipts, and then you submit it to your insurer. Then they process your claim and then give you your percentage back. So don't think that you have some like random credit card that the money goes straight from them to the vet or the hospital or whatever it is. So just be aware that you do have to have the money up front. So again, it could catch you out if the money isn't there. So what doesn't the insurance cover? Now this is going to be with pretty much borderline with all insurance companies with your pets. For example, so any pre-existing conditions. So for example, say if I had Lucy as a 10-week-old puppy and she had hip dysplasia or anything like that, and that wouldn't be covered. So you can't kind of hide it either, because there is a cooling down period. I think it was around 60 days, I can't remember off the top of my head. And also you have to take your dog to the vet to get assessed, and they do this whole assessment phase, and the vet has to sign off on it. Then you take all those details and take them back to your insurer. So you can't really, I suppose, lie about that or anything of the sort. So any pre-existing conditions you won't be covered for. That's not to say that you still can't get the insurance, but again, any pre-existing conditions you're not covered for. Another thing that isn't covered are your irregular checkups. And this comes under like your normal shots, your inoculations, bits and pieces like that. So who needs pet insurance? Look, this, like, how long's a piece of string, really? So for starters, can you afford pet insurance? If you can afford pet insurance, I would recommend yes, I think so. Like, even if we have broken even with our insurance, or even if nothing happened to Lucy and I'm paying $733 a year in insurance, I have the peace of mind to know if Lucy breaks a leg or does some crazy damage to herself, or something bad happens, Jesus, she gets cancer or something, touch wood, she doesn't, like, you're right? We would be covered up to $11,000. Now, I know a dog's broken leg can be around the $10,000 mark to fix, and a lot of people don't have that money laying around. So I think that's extremely important for probably most people who can afford it to get pet insurance. For example, just recently we had an incident where we thought Lucy broke her leg. Again, at the same park, on the same concrete step, Lucy was running around full pelt. It just finished raining, she jumped over and slipped, and she slammed her knee into the concrete. But this time what happened, the impact was so loud, it sounded like a cap gun going off. It was a loud, like a firecracker, like a loud crack. And it was enough of a sound to get everyone in the park to turn around and look at Lucy. Lucy instantly stopped. Her leg went just completely limp and then shot up like almost inside of her. I absolutely nearly tore my hair out. I was like, holy crap. Quickly grabbed Lucy, quick inspection. Like, there was no bones or anything coming out. There was a big gash. Picked up Lucy, ran about 2 kilometers home with Lucy on my back, and took her off to the vet. Luckily, there was no real damage at all. We got x-rays and everything. It sounded a lot worse than what it was. Lucy wasn't in any pain. It was just a little bit tender, a little bit swollen. She didn't break her leg. But for that instant, and probably for about 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, until the vet gave me the all good, I honestly thought, oh my God, there's some permanent damage in there. We're screwed. So in that respect, I had in the back of my mind, awesome, we have cover, and it's going to not probably cover everything, but it's going to help 80% of the expenses, which is awesome. Who probably doesn't need pet insurance? Maybe lesser prey drive dogs. Now this is just me having a wild stab in the dark. Maybe your little fluffies that stay inside all day long, that aren't accident prone and things aren't really going to happen to them. You might get away with not having to have pet insurance. It might be just more beneficial for you to pay as you go, and you might only have to go once or twice. You are still susceptible, like any dog owner or person or anything in the world, of getting sick and having, I don't know, possibly getting cancer or something really bad like that. So that may be a bridge you have to cross one day, but hopefully, again, touch wood, you don't have to experience that with a dog. But yeah, so that could be a reason to maybe not have the insurance if you have a low prey drive inside kind of dog. But on the flip side of that, our old next door neighbor had an experience where his French bulldog fell off the couch and landed the completely wrong way, broke his leg. He did not have pet insurance, and it cost him $11,000 to fix. So again, that's a low prey drive inside dog. So really, I think my personal opinion is, if you can afford pet insurance, I think just have the peace of mind, add it to your bill list. We all pay bills, we're all like this anyway. I think go do your due diligence and get a good pet cover that covers you and puts your mental state at rest. Anyway guys, that is just our experience and opinion on pet insurance. Again, I think if you can afford it, 100% get it. Put your mind at rest. And if you can't afford it, I think maybe think outside the box a little bit and see if you can jig your finances, and I don't know, maybe have 2 less beers a week, or find something you think you could go without to possibly look after your dog and have them covered for if any of these larger expenses do happen down the track. You'll probably thank yourself for it, I have no doubt. Guys, if you got value out of this video, please hit the thumbs up, that'd be amazing. Have any questions below about our experiences with pet insurance, please drop them down below. Subscribe if you're not, and we'll see you in the next video.